Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Live from Channel 5 studio in Belize City, it's Open Your Eyes, Start Your Morning Right with your hosts, April Martinez and Isani Caetano.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I am Isani Caetano. Good morning.
Good morning, Belize. Thank you so much for joining us. And good morning, Isani. How are you?
Good morning, April. I'm good. I'm off to a great start. I came out of my house this morning and everywhere was white. It was foggy, which means that
very foggy.
we're expecting heat today.
I am, up
Serious
until
heat.
Saturday, I believe, or yesterday morning, it was still raining.
Yeah.
And I kept wondering when it's going to stop. And when I was on my drive coming up, I could barely see a thing with all of this fog. So I said, okay, maybe with all of these clouds on the ground, maybe we get some sun, some heat for the rest of the week. I don't know, but we'll find out later on today.
Yes, we will.
But Isane, there has been quite a lot taking place over the course of the weekend, and we expected this. It is election season, as you know. So let's just jump right into our What's Buzzing topics for today. Like I said, there was a lot happening, nationally here in Belize. We are on the road to nomination day today.
Yes.
And there has been a lot happening in terms of the campaign trail, different candidates and so forth. But we have been seeing, I guess, I want to say increase in women in politics.
Yes.
And I'm very, very happy to say that we have, I think about 5 or 6 representatives that are women in both parties that are running up.
Perhaps more if you take into consideration other candidates within the UDP, and I say within the UDP loosely at this point.
Yes, within the UDP, within the PUP, independent candidates, we're seeing that. So I wanted to start off that conversation with that foundation because I have been saying it time and time again how difficult it is for women in this position to lead a particular charge. It's very, very difficult for us. We don't see a lot of women in politics. So this particular election, I was very excited to have seen so many women.
Yes.
That being said, politics is a brutal sport. I am not one to play. I will criticize it at will, but I'm not one to play that sport. And I give my hats off to the women that do try. But in this case, I will always say we don't have to play dirty like the men. It's already hard for us. And that's why I'm laying this foundation, because I know you have your comments. Please,
and I feel as if though you're beating around the bush.
I'm not beating around the bush. I'm trying to lay a foundation because I want to be extremely careful how I place my words next.
Respect to that, respect to that. But here we go, right? So the People's United Party embarked on its southern tour this weekend, and from all accounts, it was successful in terms of the turnout of supporters who came out for the Prime Minister and his candidates.
Yes.
Good. Out of that, however, has come a most disappointing show of hands, so to speak, from the Albert candidate under the PUP banner. And this is Kaya Katus. We all know her from cycling. We all know her from her work at the Belize City Council. And now she's a political hopeful for central government. Yeah. But and I'm thinking to myself how best to approach it, but this is the what's buzzing, so I'm free to shoot my opinion nonetheless, right? In the United States, there's a a radio television show called Breakfast Club.
Yes, I love
right?
it. With Charlemagne.
Yes. And people who say silly things and do stupid things are reserved for the donkey of the day. Right? So I think this is a perfect qualification for that. Donkey of the day goes to Kaya Katus. Good friend of mine. In any other facet, I totally respect her. But I sit here this morning disappointed more than anything else. Because you can't take aim at someone in that manner and think that it is appropriate, think that it is okay. As you started off, April, we only have few women in electoral politics.
Yeah.
And so while, yes, they're going against each other over the constituency, doesn't mean you need to play nasty. Nobody ever came at you with any kind of remarks that would make you feel attacked or threatened, so why go there?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm saying disappointment because we expected better.
Yes.
We expected better. And I don't want to get personal. That's not my place, right? Certainly not my place. But I always try to look at the ironies in certain things.
Yeah.
Things are ironic.
I think
Last Wednesday, Kaya's mother and her son's in-law were on here. We were discussing cancer treatment for her daughter-in-law and everything. And it was such a humbling experience seeing how family bonds and family comes together in times of need and what have you. That was, notwithstanding the situation that the family is facing, was heartwarming to see.
Yes.
Right? And then you have something like this, you know, and that's the irony that I immediately look at. I'm saying, okay, well, would you not have been taught better? Wasn't there some kind of an expectation from your family of you taking that podium down in Independence on Saturday? Beyond that, 1 second, April, sorry. Beyond that, right? This appears to be a written speech that was presented. So normally, and I stand to be corrected where this is concerned, normally when a speech is written, if it's written for you, you have someone else who vets it, or you vet it to see, okay, am I comfortable saying this? Am I not comfortable saying that, right? What happened there? Because somebody ought to have proofread the thing and say, you know what, leave this off the table.
Yeah.
Something went wrong there, or perhaps it was deliberate, but to this kind of an effect.
And like I said, I think the way it comes off, you're in the campaign trail, you are in the heat of certain moments. Yes, she was given a written speech and so forth. I think that when you are in this game of politics, and I said this is not the first time we've seen these types of conversations take place in campaign. It's not the first time we've seen these conversations and this back and forth take place in the House. We know that politicians will say things to attack each other personally. We've seen it. We've seen it time and time again. This is not the first time.
And if we're talking about Tracy Tager Panton, right? This is a woman who has also been attacked in the House by the Kaya South area representative, the infamous sit on the carrot thing.
Yes.
Right? And then we pass it off and make it seem as if though it's okay, it's normal.
Yes.
It's come on, man.
And that's to my point, right? We've seen it time and time again, and that's why in my initial statement, as women, it's so hard for us to be in this position. We don't need to make it harder for ourselves. And I think for me, everybody, there's so many mixed reviews on social media talking about, you know, we done used to this already, like why would it make it such a big deal? The truth of the matter is that if we continue to allow these things to happen haphazardly, we're creating this exact corruption that we're trying to alleviate ourselves from. We are feeding into something, like you said, we think it's okay to just make and pass these comments when it's not. If you want to attack somebody politically, you go against
what their record
says, their work, or lack thereof their work, right? So that is what politics is all about. And as women, we don't need to feed into that faction. There's
this completely, to me, a baseless justification of saying, well, it's politics, grow thick skin. Nah, man.
No.
No.
Not for this.
You can't
No.
countenance this kind of behavior by simply saying, oh, it's politics, get over it.
Yeah.
No, man. It's a personal attack on someone who never did attack you in any regard, right? And even if there was an attack, it wasn't of a personal nature. It's not like you're pulling at low-hanging fruit, as I would call it.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
And
You
like
don't
I'm
need
saying
do
to you,
these things.
the whole thing for me is the fact that, you know, better was expected.
That's it right there.
I sat in this chair for all these years, and in my own mind, I'm rooting for Kaya in all her pursuits,
Yeah.
whether it's on the bicycle, whether it's in politics or whatever, because it's someone I've learned to and grown to respect. So I could imagine other people who probably felt the same way.
Agreed.
Right?
And I would want this to be again a lesson for the way that we see ourselves in politics as women. We don't need to play this game. That is my honest opinion. We don't need to play this game, but we do have to move on to a different topic, Isani. Again, another woman in politics.
Here we
I'm
go.
over this. I'm over it by now. But as we had discussed earlier last year, you know, Elvia,
yeah.
Vega Samos. She was initially the PUP candidate for Corozal Bay, and during the convention, she lost to Thea. And now she had declared herself running as an independent candidate for Corozal Bay. And in my mind, I saw this and I said, okay, you really don't want to, you know, come out of the race. You really feel like you are able to be that candidate for Corozal Bay. You want to do this.
To add a bit more meat to the bone, this is a woman who stepped up to fill her brother's
position
role when he unfortunately passed away from COVID in 2020. Didn't even get to swear an oath of office. So his sister, in carrying on his political legacy, or what would have been his political legacy, stepped up.
Yes.
Right? She won in a by-election and she took the seat as area representative for Corozal Bay. But it seems as if though she's hard done by her own party in terms of how they favored another candidate or however that played out, right? She lost the convention, and so we have Thea Ramirez Garcia, right? Thea Garcia Ramirez, sorry. And so be it. If that was done in the most democratic way, and that's the outcome, so be it. But over the past couple of days, things have taken an interesting turn. So I believe it was on Friday, there was a report that the government-issued vehicle had to be taken back from her by force, so to speak, with the presence of the police and what have you. And then on Saturday, when the UDP under Shine Barrow had its manifesto launch and revealed its slate of 30 candidates, they essentially threw their support behind Elvia as an independent in Corozal Bay. And within a few hours, the PUP issues a statement that says, by virtue of that action, she's no longer part of the PUP.
But she never made a statement saying she accepts that backing or anything like that. I don't even know. I don't even know if she knew that Shine was going to say that he's backing her, you know, in her area. So that to me was, you know, it's clear that there has been some level of dispute within her party, especially after Thea Garcia Ramirez won. We didn't really hear much from her. She did say that, you know, it was definitely because Thea was favored over her. There was a lot of back and forth with that. But I didn't see an issue with her running independently. But within the statement of the PUP, it said that now that she's running independently, she no longer serves within our party. You know, that is, she's out. And I feel like when
on the face of it, if we're to be as clear as possible where this is concerned, she was a member of the People's United Party. The People's United Party went to a convention. She lost to Thea. So running independently, well, you're not aligned to a political party, because that's what independent means, right?
Exactly.
And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, it is what it is. But the party has its own rules and its own philosophy and what have you, and so a decision was made. But I'm pointing out the coincidence, if you want to look at it that way, that right after this, this other endorsement comes this expulsion.
Yeah, I think that she has definitely had a great source of bad luck, especially after she's lost her seat at the table for Corazalbe. We have not heard anything in terms of her removing herself as an independent candidate. As far as we're concerned, she is still running independently. I do wish her the best of luck. I do appreciate having more women in politics, and her putting herself at an independent slate tells me that she still wants to be a part of this. She still sees herself as a suitable candidate for Corazalbe. I would love to have a conversation with her more about it, to see what her journey has been, especially after she lost the convention and then her decision to run as an independent candidate.
Yeah. But that's what's buzzing.
That is what's buzzing.
But we need to move on to our Eye on the News, because this morning is a loaded one. So let's go to our Eye on the News. So there's been a lot of developments over the past few days, and we were busy this weekend.
Yes.
I'll start off by saying that. And I want to acknowledge my team for getting out there and getting the job done, notwithstanding the fact that we were trying to get some rest for nomination day today. It brings its own workload. But here we go. On Friday night, there was a murder down on the Placencia Peninsula. This is down by Coco Plum, right? Near Maya Beach. And the victim was identified as 56-year-old Boris Mansfeld, and he was the face of BMA, Boris Mansfeld and Associates, a realty that deals with land acquisition and land sales down in Placencia. And this is considered sort of a high-profile case, simply because two previous associates of his were also executed previously, like in the past couple of months or a year or so before then.
Wow.
I'm talking about Ricardo Borja, who was shot and killed execution style here in Belize City. And I'm also talking about Darren Taylor, Dalacoin, who was killed in Dangriga last year sometime thereabout. And so for those of us in the media who have been following this entire scenario, there has been countless legal claims brought against Boris Mansfeld. That's before the court. And I'm not certain what the circumstances were that led to this murder, but it's very curious that there wasn't any sign of forced entry or what have you. In our coverage of what's been taking place as well, we've also identified that Belgian national Frick de Meer was a partner of Boris Mansfeld, and they went crossway over business. This is also a matter of public record. And so, in the wake of this murder on Friday night, Frick was brought in for questioning yesterday at 1:30, right? His lawyer was down in Placencia to ensure that that part of the process went smoothly. As far as I am made to understand, reliably so, is that Frick's licensed firearm, along with 2 cell phones and a laptop, have been confiscated by the police or retrieved by the police. But there are questions in terms of how they went about doing it, in terms of what I'm made to understand. has to do with chain of custody and what have you. So yesterday, the firearm was taken from him along with the cell phone and what have you, but they did not present a receipt that they have these items in their possession. I understand that if they're to do any kind of ballistic tests or what have you on the firearm, they did not box the firearm properly. So there's procedural irregularities already. That's what I've been made to understand. It's simply to say, though, that Frick is a person of interest. We're not saying he's a suspect. We're not saying he's a person behind it or what have you. All of that has to be thoroughly investigated. But in the wake of the incident, because of their fallout, which was fairly public, automatically all eyes turned to Frick, right? But we're also saying that there are other legal claims. So people who probably feel as if though they've been jilted or what have you would have a motive, right? That's for the police to determine. But we're on top of that. We're trying to get some official word from the police department later today in terms of what they have been able to uncover so far in terms of this homicide done in Placencia. So that was one. On Saturday, while we were still trying to figure out this incident in Placencia, we got word that 3 bodies were discovered inside a hotel room in San Pedro.
Yes.
And we have 3 women here of Moroccan descent, right? They were staying at the hotel, there it is, and the discovery of their bodies, you know, with foam from their mouth or what have you, right? And this was certainly the talk over the weekend.
Yes.
There has to be some sort of a toxicology report that will determine exactly what the cause of death here is. Some people are, in my opinion, prematurely leading to overdose, but a toxicology report would tell you exactly what took place there. But this is interesting in and of itself because it has to do with tourism and the fact that it happened on our premier tourist destination, and these women were visitors to this country. So we're yet to see how this takes its own shape in terms of the investigation and what have you.
As I understand it, there is no like force of entry that can be found. As you rightfully said, Isani, they were found with foam in their mouths. I don't know. This is one of those. These are one of those topics where we don't have all of the details, and so there's not much to comment on, other than again, it does put a stain on our tourism. 3 women in a hotel room found dead with foams in their mouths, and a suspected overdose. And you are coming from a very conservative country to come and visit.
Well, by way of the United
here.
States. So my understanding is that they would have moved to the United States, and you know, so they have perhaps dual citizenship where that is concerned. Don't hold me to that, but that's the thinking.
Yeah, because when I heard that, I'm like, no, that sounds almost impossible. But you know, there seems to be foul play here, and like you said, we don't have all of the details, so we're going to be waiting for that, and we're going to hear more about it if we do get that toxicology report back.
Yes. So, and then the final, since we're discussing crime and violence and what have you, the final one was also on Saturday, where a technician, an electrician, was installing some cameras at a residence in Hattieville, in the windmill area of Hattieville, when he came under deadly gunfire, him and his goddaughter. And so in the process, Tyrell Thomas was executed. Now, this is an individual who, from all accounts from his family and others in the Hattieville community, was someone who was deeply involved with his community and was someone who was on the village council at some point and is a well-known person in the community. Yeah. He took a job to install some cameras, and in the process of so doing, 3 persons reportedly emerged from a bushy area, saw him on the ladder, and the family and other people are saying it's a case of mistaken identity, that these persons approached him from behind and just sprayed right? And so that is also under investigation. This young man, Mr. Thomas, had been with BATSUB for the past 25 years as a certified electrician, has given his professional life to that kind of work. And so this is another one that we're looking at. Now, we need to move on to all the other political developments.
Yes.
Like I said, it's a fairly lengthy
It's a lengthy eye on the news,
right?
yes.
So, Cheyenne Barrow unveiled the UDP manifesto on Saturday, along with the candidates who will be contesting the March 12th general elections. And this is interesting simply because, as we've been reporting for the better part of the last 10 or so months, this rift that continues to tear apart the UDP. And it was in last week that Tracy Panton
Had her
also unveiled her slate. They're yet to produce a manifesto, but also unveiled her slate of 15 who are also contesting the general elections under the UDP umbrella.
Yes.
And there is this continued talk about it being one UDP and that there shouldn't be any factions or what have you. Now, I don't know if I'm living in a parallel existence or whatever, but they are two completely...
I keep feeling like we're getting gaslighted by the UDP. No, I'm serious, because every time we talk about, well, there is a faction, and then one will say, no, there's one UDP. We don't acknowledge what the other person is saying, and what we're saying is correct. And you, the media, are the ones that are putting this confusion together, but we're seeing two sets of people with two different slates introducing two different types of candidates.
So the latest communication from Cheyenne Barrow's UDP is to the Chief Elections Officer.
Yes.
A letter dated February 23rd, 2024, where they are saying that they should hold on to the color red as it is. This is disputed by both sides in terms of the color, the shade of color, symbols, and what have you. The Elections and Boundaries Department is yet to pronounce on the matter, so to speak, right? But this is all of this confusion that's taking place, and we're only a few weeks now away from the general election. And I don't want to preempt what our conversation will be in the subsequent segments of the show, but at this point, I think most people are equally concerned, if not confused, about the state of affairs within the UDP, right? If they weren't taking it seriously in the beginning, now that we're so close to an election, I think some people who are supporters of the party are perhaps morally torn between the two so-called leaders. I don't know.
Yeah. Last week on Power and the People, we did have Alberto August, who's the deputy chairman, on the show. We were trying to get a clear answer as to the state of the party and what we could expect on nomination day. And we were also asking about the because I was personally confused about the color. You know, if Tracy Panton is running as a UDP in Albert, but then you also have Shine's representative in Albert, and they're both running as UDP. Do they keep the same color? And you know, he said no, but then we're asking, but that's what was preempted in the last update that we got. And so it just has become this severe level of confusion. Apparently there's going to be a symbol attached to the name. Tracy says that you know that she's running for Albert because people of Albert know that it's Tracy Tega Panton Albert division. That is, she's running as a UDP. So I am, one thing is for sure, Isani, I am so happy that I am not voting in Belize City. That is my...
And your candidates and their...
We have...
they're clear?
No, because I think we still have... Yeah, we have Ralston Fraser.
Okay.
And we have John Saldivar for UDP. And then, of course, we have Oscar Mayer of PUP.
All right, so you're still in a three-way race
At
for
least
Belma
it's
Pie.
not as jagged as here.
It brings me to this, and this is our final point of conversation this morning. Today is nomination day.
Today is nomination
All right,
day.
so we have teams, corresponding teams from across the country who will be bringing minute by minute, play by play coverage of the nominations. 10 to 2, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, and 2 to 4, right? The independents and third parties go between midday and 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Right? The major parties 10 to 2. I keep saying 10 to 2. Major parties 10 to 12, 2 to 4. Yeah. All right? And so we will bring all of this information to you. We'll seek to speak with the Prime Minister from his Orange Walk Central constituency. We'll also speak to all the politicians that we can get our hand on this morning and throughout the course of the day to bring you what the excitement of nomination day will be like. And this, of course, formalizes the candidacy of all those who are interested in running in the 2025 general election.
Yes,
they will go and put their name down formally that they are a candidate contesting a seat in a constituency for the House of Representatives.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm very excited. Of course, this is part of our campaign coverage for Decision 2025 here on Channel 5. And I am equally, intrigued by the way that the elections has been affecting the way that we communicate.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been this much talking about politics. Well, I do talk about politics all the time, but been hearing, regular civilians talk about politics so much as we have for this unprecedented elections of 2025.
Interesting developments. But April, we'll leave that there.
Yes.
It is now 3 minutes after 7 o'clock.
Okay.
We got to get going with our show. But that does it for the INA News. Remember, join us on Facebook throughout the course of the day or join us live on TV. We will be bringing to you the nominations day coverage. So that does it this morning for the Eye on the News.
And moving on to our weather forecast for today, as Isani and I mentioned, it's very, very foggy outside and it seems it's going to be a very hot day. But let's get that update from the folks at the National Meteorological Service.
Morning. Generally fair weather prevails, but a cold front will bring changes later today and tonight. Skies will be sunny with a few cloudy spells today and cloudy at times tonight. Showers will be isolated at first, then, along with possible isolated thunderstorms, will increase gradually this afternoon and tonight as a cold front approaches and crosses the country. In the outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night, cool and mostly dry conditions will prevail. Winds today will blow from the east and northeast at 5 to 10 knots and seas will be choppy. High tides will occur at 8:31 this morning and 7:18 tonight. Low tides follow at 12:51 this afternoon and 2:55 tomorrow morning. Temperatures this afternoon will peak at 76 Fahrenheit up in the Maya Mountains, 85 along the coast and 88 inland. The moon will set at 2:48 this afternoon and the sun at 5:57 this evening. In the sargassum forecast, sargassum continued to gradually increase over the area with moderate impacts expected along coastal municipalities during the next few days. That's the latest from the Belize Weather Bureau. Do have a pleasant day.
All right, it seems like it's going to be all clear skies today. But moving on into our show lineup for this morning, in our first and second conversation, we will be joined by political supporters and critics as we talk about the up-and-coming nominations on Decision 2025.
Our second conversation is about kidney awareness in Belize. So we're going to be joined by representatives from the Kidney Association to discuss this very topic.
But we do got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's all about the journey leading to the elections for 2025. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
is Christian Palma. I'm the owner of CRK Services, and I've been operating this business for 7 years in Big Falls, Toledo District. I use the Belize Bank online services because it's quite fast, reliable, and easy. Before I started to use the Belize Bank online services, I had to make a lot of trips into town, which cost me a lot, especially fuel. So the fact that I have to use my credit card every day, I can do an online instant payment and make my life easy. My customers can do payments towards me and it reaches in instant. It's fast, it's convenient for my business. I don't have to be up and down. I can do it anywhere I want. I would recommend you using the Belize Bank online services because for you, it will save you a lot of time.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Really? You not switch yet? No what? I tell you. I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that hotline bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that hotline bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up and run, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's Smart or no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Honda Navi, a partner you can rely on. Benquip, equipment, parts, service.
Belize. The countdown to Decision 2025 is on, and the voices that matter are speaking up. What are the biggest issues? Who are the key players? And what does it all mean for you? Join April Martinez, Demi Williams, and Harold Young as they break down the issues, the candidates, and the real impact of this election. Tune in to Power and the People, where your voice matters. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. only on Channel 5.
And welcome back. For our first and second conversations this morning, we have been joined by a panel of three. We have with us Kevin Arthurs, a political analyst. Good morning, Kevin.
Kevin.
This morning.
Yes. In the middle is Shari Medina. She's a community activist. Good morning.
Good morning.
And to my left is Wendy Castillo. She's also a political analyst. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're here to discuss the general elections 2025 and what some of the predictions are, what the current state of affairs looks like in terms of both parties and any other third parties that are entering the race. And the fact that today is nomination day, which formalizes the candidacy of anyone who is interested in running for the elections 2025. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's begin by first of all getting a readout from you guys as to the lay of the land where the People's United Party is concerned. And then we could go into the UDP and then we could look at the general picture thereafter. Let's begin with you, Wendy.
Well, first of all, Lisana, you know, it is a political season for our party. I think on the ground and every critic that we've spoken to, and as you hear Belizean in the length and breadth of this country, the prediction is that, of course, my party, our party, the People's United Party, is poised to win this general election. Nevertheless, as a party, we have always maintained a humble and conscious setting within our mind that the electorate cannot be predicted and that the power of the electorate is what governs on election day. Also, we've also heard the notion that on election day, elections are won. In our party, we don't share that sentiments. We believe in preparedness. We believe that we take nothing for granted and that our machinery must be all, meaning that every aspect of our political machinery must be prepared. So if you go throughout this country, every campaign office, all our caucuses have been activated. We continue to build on Plan Belize, which was a stepping stone to getting us elected in 2020. And as you know, we will stay right on track. We'll continue to develop Plan Belize, as we call it, 2.0. There are so many things that we want to accomplish. The vision of our party, we were built on the notion that we must serve the people. We must serve the people who are voiceless. We must prepare our people and empower them. How do we empower them? Through education, through health, by putting forward a plan so they can be inclusive. And so that is where we're at heading into this election, to continue to build on Plan Belize.
Before we go to Shari, I'll just jump over to Kevin quickly. As a former CEO, can you give us perhaps a recap of some of the accomplishments of the People's United Party under this previous term?
Well, if you'd allow me, son, I'd like to start before then. I mean, I'm sure that my experience inside government at that level was a refreshing one. But I want this to draw us back a little. We live in a country where we have over 60% youth. And I know that any politician doing the numbers will try to get a portion of that population. And for a very large part in political history, young people are disengaged. They're disinterested. Politics is either outside of their girlfriend-boyfriend situation or outside of the new challenges they're facing in life. So what brings young people to the table? The number one thing is drama. And this, you can say, is the most drama-filled lead-up to elections in history.
Yes.
Without saying, I mean, you talk about, I can start, if you want to put it in a less scandalous way, you can say it's been the most eventful. Put in the context of, we have, and let me start, we have Hollywood in this. You have the leader of opposition who literally has a Disney production on his life. You have all the ups and downs of him facing off against his aunt. You have the decay and the splitting of the UDP. You have the PUP who seems to be rolling, and the last minute, bam! You also get a taste of the same medicine in the Corozal Bay drama. So, of all the political elections, and you have the most candidates, I am sure, we are projected to have the most candidates to contest general elections, I think, in Belize's history.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a wonderful time if you are disengaged and if you're a young person. I've spoken to a lot of young people because I think that politics is granular. You know, it's really about how do you get the attention of persons, because somebody might like you, Sani, but they might not vote for you.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have to also say that the introduction of AI into these elections is big too. We've seen a voiceover for Jus Vasquez, which he has complained of, and I'm actually kind of disappointed that we haven't had more AI interventions into the political sphere. I saw a poster with you running for Lekai.
Right.
That was a joke that went really far.
I was about to become campaign manager. I mean, like, you know, it's huge.
I have no political ambitions, for the record.
But it is. I mean, the point is that it is exciting times.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't want young people who are. I mean, we have 11,000 young people. I have heard in the BPO sector. And so to get them out of the fights that are happening on Facebook and the drama and the toxicity that's on Facebook is a feat. But I think we have all the elements this morning to have a very combustive, energetic political season. Listen, people in the UDP should be very happy. This election build-up has twice the energy. I mean, in certain constituency, 3. I mean, look at Port Iola. You have 3 people, an independent, a UDP 1 and a UDP 2, all fighting against the PUP. Now, I think the challenge will be, in my introductory summary of this, the challenge will be whether or not the People's United Party can prevent itself from becoming arrogant, can make an assessment of its efforts, whether or not it delivered first to its base. Because if the PUP is able to mobilize its base, which is very difficult in government, then there should be some contest. No, there will not be, and spoiler alert, I mean, you know, if you've watched the movies, you know the ending.
There won't be a royal flush.
It will not be a royal flush. It's absolutely possible. But what I have to appreciate is some of the, and I really wish that coming from the Caribbean, having the benefit of studying in the Caribbean, and having been taught in political science by some of the persons who were in the transitional era of politics in the Caribbean, I'm a bit disappointed that some more of our young people at the academic level haven't jumped in and made their comments on it. The only intellectual introduction that I've seen so far is one by Mr. Vernon, which was, I thought it was beautifully, it was very long. I mean, it could have been
His blogs are lengthy, but I think worth reading.
Yes, but just to introduce the mark of an intelligent person is the ability to process a thought without even agreeing with it. And I thought that his intervention into the conversation was a well-needed one. It was one which is not normal to Belizean conversations, but I don't think we gave him the kudos, and we didn't take that conversation. Like, what is the next question that we could ask?
Yes.
But it's exciting times.
It is exciting times.
Let's jump over to Shari.
Shari.
Well, to be honest, you know, whenever this time of the year comes for elections, it's always like an excitement for everybody around the country. It's really and truly, it's beautiful to see democracy alive. And the good thing about Belize is that we're so diversified that we have people from all different lengths and breadths of the country who decide to step up to the plate and want to serve the nation, serve the people. It's important that the people who enter this kind of election look at the fact that Belize has come so far. We have gone through so many transitions up to where we are today. The beautiful thing about it is that many people want to see change. What kind of change do we want to see as Belizeans? How do we hold our leaders responsible and accountable for what we want for our future generation and for ourselves as well? Belize is a beautiful country. It's a young nation, I say, because we're just, you know, we're young enough to know that we're stepping gradually, little by little, learning. We're still a little far, but yet we're getting there. The beautiful thing also is that we have people who have entered the race who have the mindset to bring about change and want to be able to put their 2 cents, 3 cents in there because they believe that Belize can do so much more for its people. And that's what politics should be about. And that's my definition of politics. What you can do for the people and for the nation. It's not about what I can benefit or what one can benefit. So, looking at what Mr. Arthurs just mentioned about the younger populace looking at the elections this year, many people I've spoken to, many young people across the length and breadth of this country, and even students abroad, have mentioned that they are not interested in voting. They are not going to go out and vote.
We had a poll in it.
Yes, they're not going to go out and vote. I have 2 adults in my home not interested to want to go out and vote because they believe that it is not time yet for them to go out there and put that X. Many young people share the same sentiments. They're like, until we get new people out there, new faces with vision, people who bring about something that we want to see as young people, then we'll go out there and put that X there.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting.
I tend to differ because looking at our statistic, and I can speak, while I speak, my commentary today is because I have that political experience with the People's United Party. I'm not here sitting in that capacity. I'm simply a political analyst, having that background and the information that comes to us. As you know, Kevin would know, just like him, I study a lot of statistics politically and look at trends over a period of time. I tend to differ because when you look at the Pickstock division, that division is empowered by young people. We have several young people running on our slate, where some people will say is political novices, because this is the first time they have taken that step to say, I want to be inclusive. The People's United Party has always, and you will see that today, you will gauge from that. Many times polls are taken, but where are these polls run, right? Many times we put polls out there. I could remember the last election when they said Anthony Mahler wouldn't be successful. There was a lot of critical comments made, and look at the results. So for me, I have to look at the population that you're running that poll because my experience is very different. As I speak, like I said, I speak from a place of fact. Today, our nomination day will muscle up and feature a lot of young people. We have Devin Daly, we have the young Kaya Katu stepping up, right? We have seen that trend of inclusion for young people. First of all, our party is built from the bottom, as Kevin would know, through our BYM, the Belize Youth Movement. So our trajectory, our insight into young people inclusion is quite different. If you look at some of the boards that our present government, young people sits on, that the young Alan Pollard is at Belize, the BWSL at the National Sports Council. So there's a lot of inclusion on our part. Our manifesto is built on including young people. You just saw the young Elude Miller step up to serve on our national executive. That's the inclusion. They become the voice. I too have 2 young adult kids, and they were raised in a political household by myself and my husband, who is the Secretary General. And their views are different. They understand the purpose. I think it's how you foster the political conversation.
I think
to have young people included.
So could I jump in there? It's very interesting. I think that polling is not, we don't have a polling culture in Belize.
No,
in America, after you finish voting, they have a thing called an exit poll.
Exactly.
Why did you vote for person? Why?
Yeah.
And it gives an insight into the way that we think. Now, in Belize, we do a lot of guessing, you know.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of distrust. When I call and I say, April, who you vote for? You want to know immediately, Sapran, call if somebody's going to fire you. Or if somebody is trying to get some angle on you. And in my opinion, the accuracy of these polls doesn't necessarily reflect. Let me give you a simple example. Lots of young people look at you and tell you, I'm not going to vote, you know. But that might mean several things. It might mean I didn't get the Laura Sun that you promised me. It means I've been waiting for my land papers.
Scholarship.
It might mean that they're upset because they haven't seen somebody that they wanted to see. It might be they might be upset with a particular person, they're waiting. And so the best truth in politics is the actual elections. And the actual elections has shown us that voter turnout in Belize has always been over, what, 60%? And I assume that in this election, I'm not sure it's going to be that high, because earlier this morning I came all the way from Corozal, and I looked up and I know flags cannot vote Isani.
Neither shirts.
But they cannot. But for sure.
It creates a momentum.
But for sure, there were blue and white flags all the way coming down from Crozal, and I could count like every so often, like maybe one, two, you know, and that's a reflection solely of money.
Yes.
Yes.
But I want to get Shari's take on this, because Shari is within that confusion that's currently taking place, and we can't turn a blind eye to what's happening within the UDP. Let's get your position on what's been happening and how you are able to maneuver within
myself,
these
right?
ramblings. Yes.
Okay, well, since I've known myself, I've always been a UDP. I won't hide and shy away from it. I'm a loyal UDP to the point that, you know, I sit and I watch, I observe, but at the same time, it does not mean that I am satisfied.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not because you throw a bone at me, I will grab and bite. I'm not that kind of person. Whatever is happening right now, the rift that's happening, is interesting. For myself, when I saw it happening, it was something new to me. It was like, I've never seen this before.
I don't think any of us
Never
have.
seen this before.
I have.
Well, growing up in the political arena, I've never seen something like this. We're more unified. We work together. We are like brotherly love, sisterly love. We get together, we plan events, we do our community work, we stick to the main focus, which is the people. So to be able to maneuver myself, it's just that I need to make sure that I remain in my position where I will agree on certain terms, but I will not agree with certain things, and I stand for that. I will not let anybody just mudslide me. But at the end of the day, I myself have my own mindset of what I believe is supposed to happen. And yes, there's a rift. It's interesting to see how it will play out. But at the end of the day, I must say that there are several UDPs out there who probably might have wanted to see more unity, because the people deserve a strong opposition, and the people deserve better. If the two that are now separated could have come together and, you know, run for the people of this country, we would have had a more better chance.
All of this creates for some people the perception, that the upcoming election is a foregone conclusion. Because if you can't band together to put up a formidable fight, then in the eyes of the average person, it seems as if though it's over before it's begun.
Yeah, and that's the sad part. That's the sad part, because people really wanted to see change. People are like, okay, if we can't see the coming together as one, we can't see the unity what you guys talk about, then it's going to be hard for us to make a decision.
I have a very important question to ask, because I don't often get the opportunity to talk to people on the couch that are from both sides of the aisle at the same time. So thank you so much for being here today. But also, I've always wondered what makes you support a particular party in Belize, because from where I stand, I am very much to the person. I vote by what you are telling me and how you can produce, right?
Don't do that.
I said by how well you can produce.
Dangerous thing you can do.
How well you can produce. What I'm trying to say is, I need to understand your philosophy. Yes, because when I think about PUP and I think about UDP, I think about, okay, the only difference is color. I'm not thinking about what is the difference between your manifesto. I'm not seeing the difference in philosophy or ideology. I don't see those stark differences when both parties campaign. They're saying you deserve better, or we want to see change, or you deserve education, good health care, streets, etc., etc. That is what I hear from both sides of the aisle. And I never hear, okay, this is how we're going to do it, this is what we're going to bring to you, and so on. So I guess my long started comment is, what makes you vote for PUP? What makes you support UDP? What are the stark differences in these parties? And I'll start with you, Shari.
Okay, well, personally, a lot of people are asking me right now, Shari, why why are you supporting a party that will not make it this election? And you know, I hear it every day from people, right? And I love it. The reason why I don't like make it bother me is because I know for a fact that being a UDP from since I started running in the elections as a councillor, and I won twice, and I served my community, I looked at the fact that at the time the Honorable Dean Barrow was leader, and growing up and going to high school, growing up with all these leaders and observing and going to Sixth Farm, I always loved his philosophy of leadership. And I grasped that, and that led me to decide. My dad was a big PUP. Don't get me wrong. My whole household. And one day I decided, I told my dad, I said, Dad, I don't want you to get mad at me, you know, but I don't think that that party is the party I want to follow because of its philosophies. I don't believe in it. But I will go where my heart leads me, and I will go where I know you do not want me to go. But Dad, I hope you respect my decision, and I'll respect your party.
So let me challenge you on the following, and then I'll have when they jump in, right? The PUP, as far as I'm aware, and you guys stand to correct me, was built on social justice and all of these other things to better strengthen and develop the Belizean society. So if this was all built on the precipice of the work that George Price did, and we all acknowledge him as the father of the nation and his countless contributions, how do you walk away from that and say, okay, that's enough for me, I'll follow something else, which you're entitled to. That's an opinion. How do you look at all of what has been accomplished in one era and say, okay, respectfully, I can't go down that road?
Okay, good.
Then I'll get Wendy to weigh in afterwards.
Perfect, because at the end of the day, I was young. I was only 18 years old, and I was supposed to go and register to vote. And my dad was like, okay, we need to go vote. We need to go register to vote. And I recall well when I said, I'm not ready. I need to see something new that I can resonate with, that I believe can help us, the younger people, to reach our goals and to see things differently than how you all see it. Because I used to go with my dad sometimes to see some of these little meetings and so forth, and I used to see how hard my dad would work and how hard he would go all out, and I'm like, but is it even worth it, Dad? You know, it's like many people put their all and then they're still like, you know, pushed. So I'm like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. I think that if you're going to be out there going all out and you're going to be putting yourself for the people, then it should be meaningful. And I believe that that is what Dean Barrow was all about. He brought something different to the table that made me attract and resonate with his vision. Like Eisenhower said, you know. So I followed that philosophy and I never let it go. And that's what led me.
I like your passion. Let's get you on it, Wendy.
Isani, for me, I can sense from what Shari is saying that she came at an era within the last 13 years. As a Queen Square voter, I feel I can speak on facts. I was adopted into a family where my grandmother, my adoptive grandmother, supported Dean Barrow all her life in Queen Square, right? As a young voter, and that's where, as a political analyst and somebody, I don't take young people vote for granted. There were many Sundays that he entered our household, 98 Euphrates Avenue. And I would come in the house, good morning, respectfully. And when I became 18, he always thought because my grandmother was a UDP that I would automatically support the UDP.
Dealing on the traditional.
Yes, of political history. I'm very different. My mother and my family came out of Hattieville, the first PUP village. Very poor. We lacked all opportunities, even though we were smart. There's 14 of us. And we, being poor, 14 picnic, you have to be poor in this country. What made me gravitate to the PUP is one, looking at my mother's state of condition. Looking at an uneducated woman with 14 children struggling. We sold everything from firewood to iguana. So I know, I breathe, I live today on the principle that you must serve a party that creates opportunity. For me, I listened to Shari just say, her dad worked like many of us, and it wasn't meaningful. On the contrary, I think it is meaningful when we serve, because when we don't serve for ourselves, I look around my community and I must help to empower them. And the only party that provided that platform to me, Billy, we have a social contract with the poor people. The days of Ralph Fonseca coming to Hattieville, and then I was living in a household with my grandmother, where Dean Barrow would come in, good morning, I only spoke to my grandmother. The simple fact why I started to support the PUP is, one, it's the opportunity that was created for me to get a scholarship, a fair opportunity, because I was smart, I passed. I didn't get any scholarship because I was PUP. I wasn't even branded at that time. But that opportunity was made to me and my siblings because the teachers, the opportunity for scholarship, for fairness. That's one of the reasons I supported the PUP. Two, we never once in our village, we didn't have to look at a politician to give us anything. The politician came and serviced our community through drainage, so we had summer program. We painted our cemetery as young people to get money into our household. So those were the things that really propelled me to say, you know what, and of course, Mr. Price used to stop into the village and give us that personal touch. To me, that was important, where you have that personal touch, because when you speak to me on a personal level, you hear my needs. My needs is no different from my neighbor's needs. And that is what Tran said. So you have the political contract with poor people like myself. Two, as a teenager, 13, moving into the urban setting where I live with my adoptive grandmother and Dean Barrow coming in there, never one day acknowledged me as a young teen voter. When I look at Queen Square, then the hype of Dickie Bradley came. And Dickie stood to this day as a testament. He always said, you're the only voter that I had to speak to over 3 hours, and had his campaign team at my alley mouth. And the one thing that I said to him, I was very active into sports. I said St. John's Primary School, every morning I would go there and exercise, and there were bushes. Why can't somebody cut the bush? I wanted simple things as a young people that at that time was important to me. And that's how I came into politics. Mr. Bradley then came 3 weeks after, I'm a licensed lab tech, and found me at the Central Medical Lab and said, you know what, Wendy, you had real issues. I campaigned and your issues stood out for me. You don't belong behind a microscope. You belong somewhere to activate change. Can you come and work for me? And it was the simple thing, one, not being acknowledged by the same Dean Barrow that Shari spoke so highly about. Everybody's experience is different. But as a voter of Queen Square, where Dean Barrow had the mandate to help people in Queen Square, I can tell you personally, we received, not me, my grandma, a little envelope. I didn't know at the time what was in it, but I knew I had a voice. I knew coming out of a poor village like Hattieville, I had to stand for something. And the only party that, from then until this day, had the inclusion of young people was the People's United Party.
I want to get Kevin's take on this.
But allow me to zero in on what you on what you said, because you said that when you look at it, since you're not directly involved in the political process like we are, that you look at both manifesto and you don't see anything. There's a vast difference. If you take your time to look at our manifesto, you say everybody said the same thing. No, the proof of the pudding is right here now. PUP has bought free education. We have had internet when the technological era came. You could look around, the housing is a testament of empowering our people. So anybody can put anything on paper, but the who walk the walk. And we have walked that walk. And that's why come March 20th, March 12th, right? We will deliver, because the proof is there. It's not just talking on a piece of paper. We put our ideas on paper, and that's what we use as our report card to say, okay, we have accomplished this, where are we going now? So I don't share that view that both parties are saying the same thing. One talk and one walk, and one work.
But there's a cycle. Yeah. There's a cycle that one needs to acknowledge nonetheless, that along the way, the party in power, and it's damn near inevitable that you will lose your way at some point, which is what Kevin alluded to earlier.
Earlier, yes.
The arrogance and the fact that you feel as if though you're untouchable, and then the electorate puts you in your place, then you're unpopular for a period of years, and you have to rebuild.
We went through that era.
So if I look at the 98 to 2008 Musa administrations, same thing happened.
But you learn, there are teachable
the
moments.
2008 to 2020 Dean Barrow elections, administration, sorry, same thing.
Yes, it's a
so now there's a resurgence of the PUP while the UDP are in the doldrums.
But those are teachable moments, Isani, and for any mass political party, you have to learn from it. It's what you extract from it. I think the PUP has learned. I mean, we've been in opposition for 13 years. Those weren't easy 13 years.
You were in Siberia for a while.
Yes, we had to sit back, we had to analyze, and we had to say we lost at that moment the social contract that is our core. And the people sanction us and say, okay, we don't want to do this, we go here. And the UDP is going through that now.
Yeah, we're going through the cycle.
And this is why I'm a firm believer of you have to have limited time in office. I am a firm believer
I
of
agree
that.
with you.
Because when you are, like Isani rightfully mentioned, you get entranced with the work that you're doing. And I always feel like when you start, you want betterment for the people. You want it, right?
So I think you asked a very important question to these beautiful ladies beside me. I'm the odd man out this morning. I tell you, this is what it is. But I think politics is personal. I think for some people, again, it's family history. For some people, it's an era. I think you made an excellent point. And to make it in Belize, sometimes the narrative is important. I think that messaging is probably the most important part of politics. In America, I remember, I will tell you this, I was so inspired by Barack Obama's campaign. It was pop culture. I mean, I got a T-shirt. I mean, it was like, you know, it was
he
like...
He danced on stage, everybody may love Barack.
But the messaging that he had transcended to not just the young people, but internationally.
Yes.
I think that in Belize, one of the challenges we have is because politics is personal, there are ebbs and flows depending on who's running. I mean, the People's United Party had an era of a golden era.
Yes.
I mean, in America, you had the dream team in basketball. Well, you had a dream team of politicians in the Musa administration. You had Marcus Spat, who's probably the best politician out there. You had Francis Fonseca, who is still a champion going on. You had Godfrey Smith. You had Eamon Courtney. When you call these names, you're looking at giants. And so if you came up around that era and you listened to what was happening in the party at that point in time, and you had Ralph Fonseca, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. It was a juggernaut in his own right. But the point I'm making is that when you make also the comparison with the People's United Party, in my opinion, and I know I'm going to take a lot of slack for this, Dean Oliver Barrow is probably the most successful and era-shaping politician of the time, by far. Post-independence, he is probably the LeBron James. Of course, you know, I mean, you have, and I'm making sports analogies. So for those who are not following it,
are you trying to appeal to the young people?
No, I'm putting it. I'm sharing my thoughts in a way that I appreciate them. Because you can have arguments in sports. You have arguments as to who is who.
Right.
Mr. Price is definitely Jordan. I mean, by far, he's just the best thing since sliced bread, and we have to all acknowledge it.
Yeah.
He has his critics in terms of how certain things went on.
I think when they made a point, she says, you are the villain in somebody's story.
Yeah.
In somebody's story. And I think that for young people, I think it's important for us to continue to sound the alarm that this is your time. You are important once every 5 years. Of course, I think we abuse it because I look at some of the Facebook comments and I say, man, I don't know if you intelligently want to say this. But it's the fact that politics makes our view important. A lot of times our views are overlooked. But what do you feel about about cannabis? Who cares? What do you feel about the LGBTQ
community? But all of those things are important that should tie into who you vote for.
Exactly.
Let me jump in here quickly. Here's a thing, right? When you have these powerful iconoclastic figures like George Price and like Dean Barrow, right? It's a difficult feat to follow for anybody else that's coming behind. So the issue with it though is that you're looking for someone who's going to come in from either of the two parties and reshape the political culture and the philosophy. But that's a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
It is.
Or so it appears.
So
let's one second, Kevin. Let's hear you when they.
If the philosophy of the party remains, I think, like me, because I'm dealing with young candidates, and you see a vast difference. Because one, you have to appreciate history. You have, and while things will change, some things will remain the same, like your social contract with people.
Yeah.
I continue to speak of that social contract because that is what makes or breaks a political party. How you empower your people is very important. So when you have young candidates coming up who has not really paid mind to historical data, to the creed of the party, that's where you have the malfunction to me within the party. A person like me, every time people say, why you name the party ticket? My purpose, when that time comes, I will know that time. But I think I am still serving. At times, I think I serve more than those who are elected, right? Because I am on the ground. I stay on the ground. You know this. I'm in touch with all class of people. So when I'm running on a machinery, it's easy for me to navigate, for me to connect with people. But I think many times, it's not that the young people or those that are in now, the type of leadership we get is because I think we have changed the mindset for ourselves. We look at politics. I've heard many people say, oh, why are you engaging in politics? It's a bad thing. Politics is not a bad thing. If you need a street light for your lamppost, our politicians have to make that decision, not directly. Every decision taken in this country has to come from some level of political will. So politics is not a bad thing, right? People say the church and politics cannot intertwine. My father was a pastor. I believe it set the perfect platform when you have a spiritual background because you have compassion, right? You're not greedy. You don't think selfishly. So to me, I share a lot of different views. And as you know me, I'm one that stands for my belief. I don't carve to the echo of somebody else's thought, right? I navigate, I observe, I internalize, and then I put forward my position respectfully, right? It's not that the PUP or the UDP things gone bad. It's the people who are assigned, the people that we elect and put that have strayed away from some of the core values of the political party.
That's important,
so that's the way I have this right now. What is happening in a Fushi party, right? You want to lead, but you can't reach one point to see things together. But yet you want to tell the electorate, I am ready to lead this country. How? When you cannot even, nobody is big enough and humble enough to say, you know what, for the greater good of this party. And the PUP went through that, our leadership struggle, for the greater good of this party and the people, name about the party, the greater good of this country, because we as an electorate, whether red or blue or no color, deserves, right, an opposition to keep the government in check. You all are the check of balance right now for this country, and you're doing the Belizean people a disservice because we have no viable opposition. They can get it together.
Make my job harder as a member of the Fourth Estate.
Right. Absolutely not, Kisani.
Let's get Shari to weigh in on this now.
And the thing is that I always believe in this principle. You must do what you can for your country. And that is the principle I live by. I think, no, I'm not, I'm definitely not a PUP. I'm not saying that.
But I hear the creed coming out.
So the thing is that I have a background of a family-oriented background where we serve community. We serve people. We don't look at colors. Isani, I have served 6 years in the municipality of San Ignacio Santa Helena. 6 years. I could walk that place without anybody around me, and I have high respect from everybody in that community because I serve with dignity, integrity, and I make sure that my people are first. UDP, right? Now, it's not because I'm a UDP that people respect me or I do things for my community. It's because we there in the West, we look at the benefit of the people. We are about the people, all right? We don't look at colors. Now, when it comes to the general aspect of what's going on right now, as my dear colleague here mentioned just now, yes, we do need a strong opposition. We're, like you said, you guys had your time where you were in battles and shambles. Maybe this is the time we are going through our hurricane and tornado and volcano. But there will be a rebirth. I will say this, there will be a rebirth. Even if it means that new people have to come on board and new heads need to come together and decide this is where we're going to take this ship. We're going to have a new captain. We're going to lead it. And like you said, the cycle was what, 13 years? Well, if it means that we have to stay there 13 years and we rebirth and come back and stay for 50 years, then let's do that.
I know, I really, really want to continue this conversation, but we do have to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to be shifting gears to, what is today again? Nomination Day. So we're going to have more conversations about that. But let's take a quick break.
Hermine Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, you know. You can't explain, the noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street, but when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, you know, because it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said it's his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
It's time to wake up, move, and feel amazing. Get your heart pumping and your energy flowing with Morning Boost. A fun and dynamic workout show to kickstart your day. Whether you're a beginner or a fitness pro, we've got the moves to keep you motivated. So grab your mat, set your alarm, and let's get moving. Morning Boost, weekdays at 6 a.m., only on Channel 5.
Really? You not switch yet? No what? I tell you, I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone, late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that thought line bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that thought line bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up and run, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's Smarter, no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
This is my first time here.
Hopefully it's my last. My dear friends, here we are, all in our true colors. Here, transfer papers, your key to the Mvule Kingdom.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I know.
Here are your clippers. Clippers.
Who's in? We are perfect. We run this place. So let's act like it.
Solomon, the head prefect, quick. Is my collar straight?
We'll be out of Mvule High before you can pronounce the word scholarship.
We have a mystery to solve. The only way we can make a difference is if we stick together. When I'm head prefect, each and every student will have a voice.
You need to show that news quick, Mvule.
I hate this school!
to grow.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. If you are joining us right now, we've been having an extensive conversation on the road to general elections 2025, and of course we are going to be continuing that conversation with our analyst this morning on the nominees on nomination day today. So I want to jump right into it because I mean we don't have a lot of time and we have to get ready for the rest of our day. In terms of the People's United Party, we've already seen the candidates, the slates on Sunday, last week Sunday, and what we can expect from the PUP. So what can we expect today for nomination day?
Well,
in the concern of the candidates?
I think like any other nomination day, our people are prepared. I know we have we've done all the application process and so forth. So it's really just to have our supporters, and they're excited. I know they are prepping right now, getting ready. As you know, nomination day, I think it's the last day before the general election where you get to muscle up, show your support. So I'm sure that each and every constituency and each standard bearer for the People's United Party is prepared for today. I know it is going to be simultaneous. So within the villages like Belize Rural North, they would be nominating at Sand Hill. So it all happens all at the same time. So you will not see that powerhouse of muscle that you saw at our national convention because it's spread, nomination day is spread across the country. But I can assure the Belizean people that the People's United Party is ready, our candidates are ready, and we are prepared for this nomination day. We will be nominating here in the city, at the city center. So I am sure, I know the Secretariat and our Eastern Caucus have been doing a lot of the work. The groundwork has been done. So you will see us today with our candidates and our supporters. It's 6 individuals who has to nominate, 6 individuals from the area that has to nominate the candidate, right? So we have done all that paperwork and we're ready. And like I said, our machinery is prepared. I have no doubt as a PUP supporter that we are ready and we will be ready on March 12th.
From what I've gathered so far, coming from the Red Hills, well, whenever anything happens, Akayo just make you know right, that like one fiesta.
Just so for the record, Mr. Arthur's Kayo have all the red flags. Like if you wonder why there are no red flags, Kayo,
if you want to see some red flags,
they have all the red flags.
I want to invite Mr. Arthur to take a drive.
I have court out there, so I'm gonna go.
Okay, you see minimal coming in yourself on the north, right?
So the minute you hit Esperanza,
it's all
be
red
prepared
flags.
that your eyes want get red and you need some Visine.
No man, I like
So, all right, I like that. So, yes, the Red Hills, normally the people come out energized. They have the music, they have the flags, supporters, T-shirts. You see a lot of people coming out like it's a fair. The good thing about San Ignacio Santa Elena is that people there are really into their politics. For some reason, we get into it. And yes, you have the PUP doing their little parade in the morning, then we do ours in the afternoon, whatever it is. But the group that comes out to support the party is what is going to be seen today. And I believe it's going to be throughout the country as well. The rest of the colleagues across the country, they're prepared for today. They've already done paid their fees for the nomination day today and have their paperwork ready. So I believe throughout the country, they will be coming out with their supporters, with their flags, showing their colors, showing their political readiness, and getting ready for March 12th. So today should be an interesting day. But for those of the people who want to see a lot of red, please take a visit to the West.
I'll tell you what though.
Go West.
I think I have the best seat in the house. You know why? Because when I leave here and I put on my journalist hat, I get to speak with everybody,
cool.
right?
It's cool.
The red, the blue, the whatever color.
Yeah, and I think today will will surely let the Belizean populace know who exactly is running. Because you hear all kind of on which ticket with the confusion we have. We're still very much confused. Okay, who is going where, and will we see more independent people coming out? So today solidifies who will be on that ballot come March 12th.
That's true. So Kevin, you've heard from the ladies here.
What my contribution to this is, again, these are exciting times, and I think you likened it onto a fiesta. I don't. I liken it onto Christmas.
Oh wow!
They say Christmas and picnic bring their own money, and elections brings its own excitement, and that is why I was disappointed to not see the flags up north, and that is why I'm going out west to see the flags, because I think that, I remember doing political science. I remember reading books where in certain South African countries, they would actually cut off the right hand of persons so they couldn't vote. We live in a country where there is violence-free elections. I don't say drama-free, I say violence-free. I've seen in some of the gang-ridden areas, and we are lucky that we have gang-ridden areas that are not garrisons. That's surprising.
Right.
But there's a lack of violence, and that is a testament to who we are. I think an elections is an assessment of who we are and what do we want. But going to nomination day, some people might say, why have nomination day? Why go through this halabala? Why get 2,000 people at $25 each? You understand?
Some say 50, but
well, I'm just saying. But it's important. I liken it onto also a wedding. It's the ability to show the public who your supporters are. It's a validation of a process, and I think nomination day is probably the most personal for the persons being elected. And I have to show being nominated, the person being nominated. It's very personal. You literally like a wedding certificate. You sign.
Yes.
Sign.
Yes, indeed.
And so the rest of your campaign is really about everyone else. This is a personal. When you go nomination day, it's a personal thing where you sit down with 2 or 3 people. Sometimes your partner, sometimes your trusted street captain, and you make that personal oath. That is the purity of politics there. And of course, the purity of politics is completely unimportant. But for the politician, when that politician sits there and it's signed, it becomes real.
I'm actually doing this.
I'm
some
doing
for
this
the 6th time, some for the first time.
Yes, but I'm told that it feels the same for each of them. And I think we have to respect. I think in the UDP there are 20 new faces. I think I heard the party leader say. There are 20 new faces. It is very difficult. Now, if you ask me if the 31 people who are elected into our House of Representatives are the best politicians in Belize or the best people in Belize, I would tell you absolutely not.
Debatable, yeah.
You're not.
But they're the most courageous, and we have to give them that. We might look at somebody and say, like, why he in the run? Like, got a shot. It's the beauty of a democratic process.
It's a process.
And hopefully somebody inspires somebody else to run. I was looking at a simple thing. I was doing some mathematics in terms of candidates who are running, who are either the son of or the relative of the candidate before. And I'm still doing the numbers, but it's a very high percentage here. And so some people might look at it as it is a hand-me-down. I get it from and some other people might say it's pedigree. I lived in a family where I saw these people coming in, I'm connected. Nomination day I want to go back to is where the most important, because when these decisions are being made about our lives, there's nobody around you, there's no campaigners and no one else. It's a personal soul-searching thing. Will I make this deal that I think is either in the best interest of the country or in the best interest of my pocket? And that is why to me nomination day is not just something we're throwing away. It is something that we should appreciate. And I'm speaking to the politicians now, that you have to remember that you are making an oath to the people who are the most vulnerable. You're not making it for the millionaires. You're making it for the person who doesn't even understand that when they get on the road, for example, and they get home safe, that it was when they did that little scratch that takes less than 0.0, I was trying to do the calculation of how long it takes to do that little X, that was when that decision was made. And I also have to big up the families of the politicians too, who sacrifice because they take abuse, Abuse,
Yes, Belize is too small.
Long hours on the road campaigning.
No, I'm talking also the personal attacks.
And attacks.
Yes. You might be tired and you might have a headache. You might be going through whatever. And if that if that voter comes up to you at that exact time when your child is sick, when you're broke, when you are having a quarrel,
dance all over again.
you have to sit
Put
there,
on your face,
correct,
and start over again.
and they don't care.
Let's get you here, Wendy.
No, I think, like I said, I was groomed into this. It's not just the person on the ballot, the standard bearer, it's the entire family. What people don't appreciate about politicians is that you live, when you put your name on that paper today and sign that contract between you and your constituent, you're simply saying that I'm available 24/7 to you, because that's what it has become. It's no longer just going to my office. People find you at your house, find you at an event. I'm not even on a ballot, and you know, when I socialize, as they see me, they see my husband, they see a PUP brand, and they start to talk politics. So sometimes I would just retreat and say, you know what? I need to just have my alone time to regroup.
That's why when I see you out the road, we don't talk politics. No, we don't, right?
Because,
exactly.
So going back to what Kevin was saying, it's a moment to say, I'm really doing this one. And you have to self-examine yourself. It's a conscious effort. People, I keep telling people, politicians that I work with, those people owe you nothing. You owe them everything, because you went to apply for this job. It's a job, and you must serve your people. You have to get it. They elect you, and you now must work for them. They didn't ask you to put your name on that ballot, you know, Isani. So don't treat them after they have put you there that they're annoying, that, you know, oh, why are they calling me so early? I just think that the nature of politics have changed from when I grew up. You could go to the constituency office and see your era rep. Now people would wait at the gate. I mean, politicians live a hard life on both sides of the fence, right? We are more critical. In the time of George Price and before, we didn't have the social media segment. Man, today, if you sip the coffee the wrong way, it's over social media. Sure. If you say something politically wrong, they blow it out of proportion. What I have learned in my political stand and working with the party is that the one thing we have said, we will not run this country based on a Facebook. Everybody know for govern, but nobody they have never lived or walked the shoe. You will, don't take it the wrong way. We will listen to the criticism, but you have to know how to filter it, because everybody and their granny and their mal and their pet have an opinion. But how valid is that opinion? You have to filter it like anything else, extract from it and say, okay, we will respond to this. If you live the respond to everything, man, you're not got time for govern.
My friends, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time. So what we will do at this point, we'll get final words from you, because our show has to continue.
Yes.
Let's start with you, Shari.
Yes, I just want to say that I'm very, you know, well, let me see. Mixed emotions when it comes to politics at this time, when it comes to the general election. But I must say, it's admirable to see so many persons contesting for different seats around the country. What I would love to see after March 12th is a strong government that will just put forth the people first and make sure that in the next election coming in 5 years, that we have more young people who are enthused, who want to vote, people who believe in good governance, and we need good leadership, want to be able to hold people accountable as a nation to bring forth the best for our people of this nation, because we deserve only the best. And I think that that is the way we want to think from now on. We need to think about the people and what we deserve for the betterment of Belize, the betterment of the people, and the betterment of every surrounding in this nation, length and breadth. So that's my last words.
Wendy?
Let me say, on behalf of my party, I want to thank the Belizean electorate for giving us the mandate in 2020. I reassure you, and I make a commitment to you, sitting around that table, that come March 12th, when we are elected back into government, we remain humble, we remain servants of the people, and we continue to engage in that social contract to improve your life, to make your life better. And of course, I want to congratulate everyone today who will be nominating today on both sides of the fence. That's what makes the political process very interesting. And I want to appeal to the UDP to become a very viable opposition, right? Because the people deserve nothing less than that. And so on behalf of myself and my team, I want to say to our candidate, be ready, be humble, remain conscious of why you are being nominated today, and you take that to the polls with you. And on March 12th, I encourage the Belizean electorate to come out and let your voices be heard. It can't be that you don't want to be a part of the process. When you're not a part of the process, you cannot be a part of the solution. So, and on a last note, Sonny, if you would allow me, I want to send, as you know, my village, we just had the loss of my brother, Tyrell Rekenya, a personal brother. My mother and his mother was best friends, so he's like a brother to me. I want to extend sincere condolences to his family, to our Hattieville community, and in the upcoming week, he was a community activist, and he was spearheading a park in the village. So we will continue that in his memory and dedicate that park to him. So the work continues, and I'm from Belize Rural Central, so I want to appeal to all the villages in Belize Rural Central to come out on March 12th and support nobody other than the Honorable Dolores Valderramos Garcia. I thank you.
Fair enough. Last words,
Kevin.
Well, first, thanks for the opportunity. I think that the fourth estate is important because it tells us, one of my friends does videography and he says, light tells you where to look. The media tells people where to look. And I think this elections is the most exciting elections we've ever seen. There's no reason for you not to be engaged. There's sex, there's scandal, there's millions of dollars, there's energies, there's Hollywood, there's drama. And for you to be engaged, there has to be a storyline, and there's a storyline for you, whether or not you're a UDP, whether or not you're a PUP, whether this is your first time, and the access to information that we have through the internet and the media, you have all the tools necessary and all the inspiration necessary. For me, this elections is not a foregone conclusion. I've listened to the other political analysts. I listened to Mr. Ashcroft on this set say, you know what, don't, as finance shows, don't spend your money, because go to Miami. But the Belizean people are very funny people. We might not necessarily be vocal. We might be passive aggressive. We might look at things and we have our own views. And I think it's an opportunity. I think, and I'm wrapping up here by saying that it's a good time to be a member of the United Democratic Party. All civilizations have a rise and a fall, and we're just seeing where the UDP are in that rise and a fall. And I do believe that the leader of opposition has expedited, has sped up the cycle for the UDP, because he has brought them to a position where they have to assess who we are. And right now it seems schizophrenic that there are two people, but it does push them through a process. I think voters in Belize need to be engaged. Do not buy the hype that both parties are the same. It's absolutely not. Even on the ground, you have two separate candidates. In one iteration of the UDP, you have three firebrand. I mean, I watch my television every night to see what they will say. You have the Mr. Rivers, who is a firebrand. I wish he had spoken. You have Mr. O, who also is a firebrand. Then you have Mr. Almendaris in the BRC. If you want drama, we like laugh and we like what stuff, this is the time. Please get engaged. Please take the process seriously. And I believe that we will have a good elections, and God controls the end.
All right. Well, you know what, Wendy, Shari, Kevin, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We are looking forward to an exciting nomination day, and we're looking forward to see whose name goes on the tickets, right? Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break, and we are going to shift gears into another conversation that involves the Kidney Awareness Day in Belize. We're going to have the folks from the Kidney Association in Belize, so you don't want to miss that conversation. We'll be right back.
taking care of your laundry so you can take care of your family.
My name is Christian Palma. I'm the owner of CRK Services, and I've been operating this business for 7 years in Big Falls, Toledo District. I use the Belize Bank online services because it's quite fast, reliable, and easy. Before I started to use the Belize Bank online services, I had to make a lot of trips into town, which cost me a lot, especially fuel. So the fact that I have to use my credit card every day, I can do an online instant payment and make my life easy. My customers can do payments towards me and it reaches in instant. It's fast, it's convenient for my business. I don't have to be up and down. I can do it anywhere I want. I would recommend you using the Belize Bank online services because for you, it will save you a lot of time.
Coming up, a festival of long-distance running with some very familiar chums. How about Run Barbados? When it comes to entertainment, this iconic couple really puts on a show. Caribbean Passport TV brings the region closer together. Exciting destinations, healthier meals. Be viewing this station. So have your passport ready and let's travel.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
It's time to wake up, move, and feel amazing. Get your heart pumping and your energy flowing with Morning Boost. A fun and dynamic workout show to kickstart your day. Whether you're a beginner or a fitness pro, we've got the moves to keep you motivated. So grab your mat, set your alarm, and let's get moving. Morning Boost, weekdays at 6 a.m., only on Channel 5.
Welcome back. We're shifting gears and having a conversation with our representatives from the Kidney Association of Belize. We are joined by Anna Cortez, who is the administrator of the Kidney Association of Belize. Good morning. And we also have Ruben Nicholas, who is the treasurer over at the Kidney Association of Belize. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you are here to talk to us about Kidney Awareness Day and the different activities that you all will be preparing for us in the country. Let's start with you, Miss Anna.
Miss Ruby.
Miss Ruby. Sorry.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. The month of March for Kidney Association of Belize is very special because that's what we call the Kidney Month. On the 13th of March, we will having our Kidney Day, and we'll be doing several awareness within that period of time. And each year we try to at least do our kidney walk, which will be on the 1st of March. So for the 1st of March, we will be hosting our kidney walk at the Marian Jones. Normally it's at BTL, so we want to inform the public that we have changed the venue to Marian Jones. We will be taking the Princess Margaret Drive, Marine Parade, Taiwan Street, Cork Street, you do that semicircle, and then you return right back to Marion Jones Stadium.
Not too long.
Not too long at all.
Okay.
We will be, and what we're doing right now is selling our T-shirts. It's $30 for the T-shirts. And then we have also joined forces with a lot of the businesses who are purchasing T-shirts from us with their logos. So we're hoping that the general public comes out, because that is an awareness day for us. We will be asking for a slight donation of registration for $2. We will also be giving small raffles for that day, and each person that comes in and register will get a ticket, and then you can also buy to increase your chances with an additional $2. It's important for us to do these type of activity because it allows us to assist kidney patients and also encourage us to do the awareness, because that's also a cost to the association.
Why is the awareness important in terms of having persons who may not know about renal diseases, getting them on board with this initiative?
It's amazing that you asked that question, because knowledge is key, and that is our basis of the awareness. We try to do our health fair. There is where we would end up having persons who may have visited the doctors regularly, but our main focus is on kidney disease, which is right now on the rise. So when we go out and talk about kidney disease, when we do our testing, which is our urinalysis, our creatinine and bun, the causes for kidney failure is diabetes and hypertension, and that is on the rise. So what we try to do in our educational awareness is try to give persons the knowledge of what diabetes does to your body, what hypertension does to your body, uncontrolled. And that also allows the person to know that I need to go and do my testing. So that is part of our awareness. And we're not concentrated in one area. We are all over the country. And we also try to involve the youths. We involve the businesses. We do health fairs. We attend all health fairs that is offered to the association. And there is how we try, you know, they call one okra full basket. That's how we try to disseminate these information. And we see it very important.
We have seen, you know, we've had conversations with kidney patients and so forth, persons that really need dialysis. And they have always spoken of how much they rely and how grateful they are for the Kidney Association. It's through these types of, you know, charity campaigns that you are able to, you know, get the funds to be able to help patients. But Miss Anna, I really wanted to switch gears to you, because as Miss Ruby rightfully mentioned, you all have these education awareness campaigns as well in the form of health fairs.
Yes.
You all are also having a health fair in honor of the day.
Yes, we will be having the health fair the 14th of March. It will be at the Lions parking lot, and we have partnered with several NGOs who will be out there offering their services, as well as offering educational awareness from their entities, and we will also have stakeholders. At the health fair, you will find free testing of blood sugar, pressure, urinalysis, HIV, and we will also be offering creatinine and bone tests. This year we partner with KHMH, and they will be the ones who will be doing the testing for us.
Lovely.
And everything will be free of cost.
And you're all inviting the general public?
Entire public, yes.
Everybody
From children to adults, you all are welcome. The health fair will start at 9 o'clock until 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Where is it going to be?
At the Lions parking lot here in Belize City.
Okay. And I know that this is not, of course, your first health fair.
No.
You all do this annually to
Yes, this
raise
is our
awareness.
annual.
How have you seen the general population come out and support the health fair?
Well, since COVID, we we were not able to have a health fair. But last year we had a health fair for the, for the previous year we didn't have, and last year it was, I think to me it was a success. A lot of people were looking forward to come out and get tested and to learn more about kidneys and other parts of your body. And so I am hoping that this year is the same, and we get much more people than what we did last year.
To your knowledge, if you can, how high is the percentage of Belizeans that suffer from kidney failure?
Unfortunately, we don't have that figure, but I know that we have roughly about 160 persons countrywide doing dialysis. Of course, the Ministry of Health has a program whereby they give 2 dialysis per week to patients who are in that program. Unfortunately, it can only be a certain amount of patients. So the remaining, they have about, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 98 patients doing dialysis under the government program. The other, I would say the other 62 or more that are not under that program, they have to find means and ways to pay for their treatment. And that is where the association comes in, and we try to assist those patients. Remember, everything that has to do with the treatment is very expensive. We have to do the catheters, the fistulas, the labs, the medications, the treatment itself. It's over $200. So, and the patient need 3 dialysis per week.
So even the 2 is not enough.
It's not enough.
Wow. Ladies, I think that when we're talking about are your kidneys okay?
Yes.
Right? That's the theme that you all are running
Yes.
for. It's for persons to get their blood tested and to see, to be able to get treatment and so forth if they need. Do you know if people go to the hospital often to check on these different organs?
It's something that our community is not accustomed to, but we encourage everyone to get tested at least once a year, especially if you are diabetic or hypertensive. We encourage that you visit your doctors frequently. You need to keep on taking your medication, as those are the 2 main leading causes of renal failure, right? So we need to keep our bodies healthy. And for those that are not suffering from any of those diseases or any other disease, it's recommended that you do your annual checkup. And you go to your doctor, and if the doctor is not doing the kidney checkup, please ask them, I need to do my creatinine and bone test. I need to make sure my kidneys are working properly.
As we wrap up this conversation, just for our viewers to have a clear understanding of the date and the time of the walk and the date and the time of the health fair.
Okay, the date for the walk is March 1st. We will be there from 5 a.m. by the way, but we will do our registration, and we are planning to leave the Marion Jones Stadium at 6. We will also be, after when we are completing our walk, we're planning to go back to the stadium and have persons who can come by to donate to the cause.
And t-shirts
can be available by calling 615-6861, 615-3532. We have t-shirts available. We will have t-shirts available at the stadium. We're asking that everyone shows up, because that is one of our form of revenue generation. Buying a t-shirt will allow us to assist a kidney patient. Buying a t-shirt will also allow us to do our educational awareness.
Wonderful. On the fair?
The fair will be the 14th of March at the Lions parking lot. It will start at 9 o'clock, from 9 to 3 in the afternoon. Remember, we will be having free testing of blood pressure, sugar, urinalysis, HIV, and we will have a nutritionist on site, and we will have a doctor for referrals.
Wonderful. Ladies, thank you. Yes.
I also wanted to add, for the health fair, if each individual brings along their social security card, we're because of we want to also we have Ministry of Health along with us, so the social security card brings the proper identity of the individual, and it will also allow whatever testing that we do, that they can go and as a referral to their doctor, they will be able to also see their results.
Wonderful.
So if they can bring along their social security card.
Perfect. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Kidney Awareness Day is March 13th. If you want to join the walk, of course, you can always contact the folks at the Kidney Association of Belize. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, it's straight to wrap things up.
Christian Palmer. I'm the owner of CRK Services, and I've been operating this business for 7 years in Big Falls, Toledo District. I use the Belize Bank online services because it's quite fast, reliable, and easy. Before I started to use the Belize Bank online services, I had to make a lot of trips into town, which cost me a lot, especially fuel. So the fact that I have to use my credit card every day, I can do an online instant payment and make my life easy. My customers can do payments towards me and it reaches in instant. It's fast, it's convenient for my business. I don't have to be up and down. I can do it anywhere I want. I would recommend you using the Belize Bank online services because for you, it will save you a lot of time.
Really? You not switch yet? You know what? I tell you, I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone, late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that thought line bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that thought line bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up and run, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's Smarter, no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Walking with my dog Luna at night feels safe because the streetlights are bright. Thanks to BL's LED streetlight project, our communities look much brighter. If you have an old fixture in your neighborhood, report it today using the BL 24/7 app. With just a few clicks, you too can help make our communities safer, brighter, and more energy efficient. Bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Welcome back. We are so grateful for all of our guests that have joined us this morning and had the conversation with us. We've had a lot various conversation in terms of politics. It is nomination day today. Things start to kick off at 10 o'clock in the morning countrywide. So wherever you are in your constituency, be sure to keep an eye out on who is running to represent you where you are. And of course, we want to say a big thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in and starting your morning right here with us on Open Your Eyes. It is February 23rd.
4th.
If it is your birthday today, happy birthday to you from all of us here in Open Your Eyes. And if you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, you can drop us a line right here at oye@channel5belize.com. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on our phone number at 675-2555. And of course, you can catch our live stream every day on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, and check out our highlights on Instagram at OYE Belize. And do us the favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon, Belize. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and SMART, bringing people together.